understanding of slavery's enduring impact. If we are to forge a common future that benefits all our citizens, we too must find ways, new ways to acknowledge our past. Quite simply, this is a conversation whose time has come.
On his part, Rwanda's President Paul Kagame, who is also the new Commonwealth chair in office, called for strengthened partnerships amongst the Commonwealth nations.
The Commonwealth we need is on the front lines of global challenges, not on the periphery, watching events unfold. Our special strength is to bring issues into focus that we might otherwise be overlooked.
UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson highlighted the various global challenges confronting global leaders, including climate change, ensuring girls' education, and the Russia-Ukraine conflict.
At the last CHOGM in London in 2018, the UK announced £212 million for the Girls' Education Challenge, and I'm delighted to say that this initiative is now at work in 11 Commonwealth countries, ensuring that girls are able to gain at least 12 years of quality education. We need to empower them to play their full part in the economy when they leave school, so the UK is funding the She Trades Commonwealth programme, which has already helped over 3,500 women-owned businesses to become more competitive and generate more than £32 million worth of sales.
The Commonwealth Secretary-General Patricia Scotland, whose term was also extended for another 2 years, said that the Commonwealth, which is a club of 54 countries, is the most significant grouping, bound by values, and these should be upheld. This Friday's event follows days of numerous forums on youth, women, business, and civil society. Samuel Senono, UBC News in Kigali.
Thank you very much, Samuel Senono. Now, in other news, the Prime Minister, Robin Nabanja, has pledged total support towards the successful implementation of the Parish development model. She made this commitment in Hoima District and Mityana Municipality today at a mass sensitization drive on Parish development model implementation. Premier Nabanja emphasized that no one will be left behind in government's quest to uplift the livelihoods of the citizens. Dennis Igwa reports.
Cabinet ministers have embarked on mobilizing communities and sensitizing them on how to benefit from funds of Parish Development Model Program. The program is taking into account planning, budgeting, implementation and supervision of public policy to about 68% rural households outside the formal money to boost socio-economic transformation agenda.
Government is bringing 100 million for 5 years. Estimatively in Uganda, you might find average the parish has about 450 to 500 households. And the government wants to give 1 million per household. By the end of the 5 years, we should have finished all the households.
Parish development model follows government programs like Intandikwa, Bonabagagawale, zoning, NATS, 4-acre model, Youth Livelihood and Women Fund, Operation Wealth Creation, and Emyoga. Minister Byamugama said that although the money was disbursed to parish accounts, many people do not know what to do with the money.
The people at the parish level themselves, they don't know themselves. Number two, they're not educated, they don't know what to do. So this money, this is on account of the parish, on the sack of the parish. It cannot be taken anywhere. Government will not take it back. Let us wait. We first bring our people, the other 7 people, the other committee at the parish level to speed. Some parishes don't have LOC2s.
He advised those who had formed village associations targeting the money from Parish Development Model that it will be given to beneficiaries in households directly.
They can stay with their groups, then they can guide them on which projects they can benefit in. Here, they are dealing with households, with families.
During the meeting, councillors showed their dissatisfaction with members of parliament for excluding them in their program.
Aba chairmans batunyaga sente zaitu eza Dr. Deep. Itwe mutwereza emitwalo 25
kuruga mu central government nimukyola nimusiteekaho omusoro nitusigaza emitwalo 17 tukubasaba mutandike kututekereza ebyo byokutugamba ngu eno programu berarubata kurungi nanyo tujja kubatekereza. When will that be?
MPs asked the beneficiaries to ensure they properly utilize the funds given to them to develop themselves.
By the century inakoraki titugwenda chamu inakuzia omuntu ogu asobole okwihayo.
Byabakama asked leaders to ensure that there is accurate identification of the poor.
Kandi tumaze tusoke tusera aba beneficiary abatufu bonyini abalina kufuna bali abantu bansi abali omubwavu.
From the 48.1 trillion shillings 2022-2023 financial year budget, 1.5 trillion shillings was earmarked for parish development model, which targets mainly 3.5 million households living under traditional or subsistence lifestyle. Irene Nakungu, George Nyonzima, UBC News.
Now, we do promise that we shall bring you the story of the Prime Minister Nabanja later on. Now, Court of Appeal has quashed Mobende High Court decision and validated NUP's Joy Bagala Ntwatwa's victory as duly elected woman Member of Parliament for Mityana seat. Justices of Court of Appeal upheld Joy Bagala's victory on grounds that the alleged election irregularities did not cause any effect to the election result. The details are in this report.
Nopo's Joyce Bagala Ntwata is now the duly elected woman Member of Parliament for Mityana District. This follows Court of Appeal Justices Geoffrey Chiriabwire, Stephen Musotan, Christopher Gashirabake judgment. They quashed the lower court decision. In the judgment, justices said that the lower court erred in law by nullifying Joyce Bagala Ntwata's victory. On this, they allowed Bagala's petition, and each party is to bear its own costs.
The main appeal is upheld, and the decision of the trial court annulling the election of the appellant as the woman Member of Parliament for Mityana District constituency is set aside. The cross appeal is not proved and stands dismissed.
Justices, however, dismissed the cross appeal, which was filed by NRM's Judith Nabakova, who wanted court to declare her as the elected Member of Parliament for Mityana woman Member of Parliament seat, following the nullification of Joyce Bagala's victory.
We find that the cross appeal did not have a strong case for the counterclaim, save for the argument that both the quantitative and qualitative tests should have been applied to finding of non-compliance with the electoral laws. The counterclaimant, however, did not elucidate how the application of both tests would have changed the results of the elections in a substantive way.
I am very, very honored. I would like to thank my political party, the National Unity Platform, but also my lawyers. They've done a good job. I have been telling you we won this election. I'm sure right now she's very calm and has understood that I defeated her. It is now time to serve the people of Mityana.
We felt aggrieved by the decision of the High Court. The trial judge misdirected himself on matters of law, and indeed he occasioned what we call a miscarriage of justice, because that would amount to subverting the will of the people.
Meanwhile, the same court has also ordered for a trial in High Court in the election petition where Nopo's Freddie Nyanzi Centam was challenging Muhammad Nsedeko's victory for Kampala Central Member of Parliament. The three justices ruled that Freddie Nyanzi proved before court that he took all the necessary steps to serve Muhammad Nsedeko with a copy of the petition, but all was in vain.
Given our findings in issue number 5, where we have deemed effective service, it is unnecessary to resolve this issue in further detail. The hearing at the trial court proceed but before another judge. 2, that any further court process be effected on counsel on court record, namely Mrs. Nseleko Mukalan's advocates.
Judge Margaret Opinion of High Court in Kampala declined to grant Freddie Nyanzi Centam's petition, where he wanted court to allow him serve Muhammad Nsedeko through the media after he had failed to trace him in person.
I've been bounced back to the High Court where I was cheated, but I'm going to be consistent and more resilient. It has been paining me. In my case, not even a single page was opened. It's fortunate now that they are going to read this case and evidence is going to be produced by my witnesses.
The justices have awarded Freddie Nyanzi Centre costs of the petition. In another development, the same court has confirmed Robert Tubakunyira as elected LOC5 chairman for Bundibujo district.
There was no merit in the petition down and no merit in the appeal as well. So the appeal has been dismissed with costs to the first respondent.
Robert Tubakunyira was dragged to court by the former Bundibujo LOC5 chairperson Richard Mutegeka, challenging his victory, citing vote bribery and intimidation.
I want to thank God in the first place. Also thank the judges for actually handling this matter professionally. I also want to thank the community of Bundibujo. We have actually battled with this for a complete year. But I also want them to thank me because amidst that, I was able to deliver.
However, justices of Court of Appeal, Geoffrey Kiriabwire, Stephen Musota and Christopher Gashirabake have dismissed Mutegeka's appeal on grounds that it had no merit. Deborah Namamonde, Nantongo Rebecca, UBC News.
The Minister of ICT and National Guidance, speaking via Zoom, has revealed that Uganda has strengthened and built its capacity to effectively respond to the refugee crisis in the country. Now, of course, this is contrary to one outcry made by the Minister for Disaster Preparedness, Hilary Onek, to the donor community to support Uganda with over $804 million to manage the refugee crisis in Uganda. But Yomosi made these remarks during a memorial lecture of Rita Nansereko, the Executive Director of African Women and Development, who succumbed to COVID-19 last year. Let's have the highlights.
So as the board again of award, we are just the two of us here. The Honorable Morris is another board member and two others that are not here. We will try our best to make sure that award shines because you are the testimony of the work that the award has done, and we will commit to continue doing that.
For more converters like Oxfam, more converters like Trocare, Christian Aid, Street Child, converters like the Share Trust, who believe in the local and national actors in both humanitarian and development work, who believe in their capacities, who don't look at them with this default perception that they are risky, who believe that they can do the work and do it at a larger scale with minimal resources.
But most importantly, propel the voices of the local governments that are hosting these refugees. Because we also know that once we get the refugees in these communities, then there is pressure on services. And so we call upon everybody in this room that can put a hand, the governments and the donors, that we actually expand those services to serve the pressure that comes with the increased number of refugees.
I was the executive director of AWAD, and she was helping to make sure that this work is done. But also she was, for us, we see her as a localization icon. There is Parish development model. We encourage them, the youth and women, to take part in the Parish development model, because that's where government is going to pass resources to them. If they don't participate, then they will not access government services. And you know, like us as AWAD, we don't have the capacity to give the services that government gives. We only supplement.
The Police Directorate of Crime Intelligence has arrested 24 suspects over financing ADF terror activities in Uganda and DRC. Fred Nanga, the police spokesperson, says that some suspects admitted conspiring with others in recruitment and funding ADF activities and two killed in action.
These 24 arrested suspects are accused of having a direct network to the ADF commanders, and their role was to finance terror activities in Uganda and DRC.
We are being used to finance ADF, including recruitment of future terrorist fighters, and also cover welfare costs of families of ADF fighters.
2 suspects have been killed in action while resisting arrest. These have been operating in Kampala metropolitan districts of Akiso and Mukono with well-organized terror cells.
Tomusange Farouk, alias Otto, alias Juma Oti. He was, however, shot dead on the 5th of June 2022 from Cheyagalire zone, Machindye, during a violent counter-operation.
These have been in charge of notorious robberies in Kampala Metropolitan and are believed to be behind the recent attack on the magistrate Gladys Kamasanyu.
They robbed Her Worship Gladys Kamasanyu at Green Hill Academy on the 17th of July 2021. The suspects conducted very effective surveillance targeting foreign businessmen transporting cash and attacked them at suitable getaway points. They further utilized various methods of secret communication to conceal their criminal activities.
Police have recovered exhibits, including motorcycles and other important documents, to facilitate investigations.
This criminal network and its gang members admitted to sending funds to their ADF commanders to finance their terrorist activities.
This disruptive operation of hunting terror remnants commenced in May 2021, and police believes to leverage on the so far available findings to wipe out ADF in Uganda. Abdul Nasir Lubwama, UBC News.
The Prime Minister Robin Nabanja has pledged total support towards the successful implementation of the parish development model. She made this commitment in Hoima District and Mityana Municipality today at the mass sensitization drive on PDM implementation. Premier Nabanja emphasized that no one will be left behind in government's quest to uplift the livelihoods of the citizens. Dennis Igwa reports.
While on an awareness campaign in Hoima District, the Prime Minister emphasized the need for formation of SACCOs in order to ease the allocation of the parish development model funds and ensure the resources reach the intended persons.
Abantu bagamba kirabero kuonka kibuku ngwa na Hoima tukwiji tutumbwire twizi hakuna mchezo ababazaka kubire sekere. Parish development model must succeed.
She also noted that the initiative is for the abject poor whom the government wants to upgrade to the money economy. Her sentiments were echoed by other political and opinion leaders in attendance at the Chitara Senior Secondary School in Hoima.
President Museveni akatugamba tuvume fishermen and women.
After the drive in the Greater Bunyoro sub-region, Nabanja continued with her mission, which took her to the Mityana district. On arrival, she was received by Judith Nabakova, the Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, among other political leaders. As the leader of government business, Nabanja urged politicians to stop politicizing the initiative and instead mobilize communities in order to benefit.
A lot of preparatory work has been taking place since the launch of parish development model in February. And the government has developed guidelines for use in training the population. Guidelines hizi zinazoweza kuwafanya katabasomeni.
We have so far received funding for both the municipality and the district. So, Right Honourable Prime Minister, you are coming here to undertake this important activity of launching the program in the district will give us a good beginning.
Nabakoba referred to PDM as the game-changer government campaign capable of economically empowering the whole nation. The Prime Minister pointed out several issues that need attention and guidance for the effective implementation of the parish development model. They include poor enterprise selection, poor farming practices, land fragmentation, lack of organization, and poor management of circles. Dennis Igoa for UBC News.
In another related development, the Prime Minister Robin Nabanja has also consoled Nabakoba for the loss of her appeal at the petition office. Now, this follows Joyce Bagala's confirmation by the Court of Appeal as the duly elected Mityana woman Member of Parliament. On her part, Nabakoba promised to continue working for her constituents and the country at large without any fear or favour.
So amazima gali njagala okumusiima olw'okuba omugumu. Twabamu amaanyi gabadde gatuweddemu. Naye ate amaanyi otugwamu tubale tugenda bawa essanyu. Bali? Si kyekyo? Kaakati bakitegeere nti tujja kubabeerako bannaginagi nyumba ku nyumba. Abaganda bagamba bamba kuki tugenda babeerako bamba ku bamba kyalo ku kyalo nyumba ku nyumba liiso ku liiso kanangire omutalo.
Njagala okukakasa abakyala b'Emityana 10 ku kinnaakyo bakyala ba NRM bano ne bwe babavuma ne bwe babasiiga ebitosi ne bwe bamwogerera miti era basanze bayimba Yoweri Museveni yadde tulina kye tufunyeemu naye ng'obalaba era essanyu likyaliwo.
Let's now take a short commercial break and be back with more news tonight.
Sanyuse nnyo essanyu lijula kunzita. MTN momo terimba nali ndi waka ngenda okuwulira essimu ezze nenga neera bino bya bulijjo ebyekifere kubanga mbeera awo omuntu n'ofuna essimu n'ogenda okuwulira oli atandise empaayo $5,000 kakati kino MTN bwe yankubidde bo tebansabye ku ssente wedda banzikakkanya na bukkakkanya nze nga ntabuse ngamba mubuli baffere nze nandi wano pulesa zaagala kunkuba bukubi nsinneebaka ku tulo ate ke mumpadde emmotoka mubyonoonye kati ate awo wiiki ndala MTN yeebale nnyo okutufaako ffe ng'abeebulemeezi Luweero balina waaka
ne MTN momo nyabo teekako buteesa emitwalo 2 oba okusingawo ku MTN mobile money yo oyinza okuba namukisa aneewanguliremu ku Toyota Succeed 3 oba omukuba wangusa 2,000 buli wiiki tugenda kugaba emmotoka 24 ne mobile money asoba mu buwumbi 2.
Are you a player in the tourism sector with a struggling business following the COVID pandemic? UDB, in partnership with European Union, is providing financial assistance to businesses operating in the tourism sector. You can access subsidized loan with grants, loan with a tenor of up to 5 years, free business advisory services, and free environmental impact assessment. Visit www.udbl.co.ug/call for applications to apply. Deadline for submission is 31st October 2022 at 5 p.m. For more information, please call 0414 355 509.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial *149*10# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *149*10*5#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *149*10# to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
A World Cup in the desert? The first one in the Middle East. The first to be held at the end of the year? That's crazy. Get ready for spectacular moves. High-flying saves. Unbelievable goals. Out of this world celebrations.
Would you believe it? What a moment here!
All 64 matches live. That's over 5,000 action-packed minutes of the FIFA 2022 World Cup Qatar. Now that's crazy. Catch all the action only on SuperSport, your world of champions. On Gold TV. Love it.
Welcome back. You're still watching the UBC News Tonight. We'll now take you into more stories. Now, elders in Karamoja refute allegations by security forces that insecurity in Karamoja is fueled by spiritual doctors. This comes at a time when security forces are organizing to meet all elders and spiritual leaders in a bid to end insecurity in the volatile Karamoja.
This is the place for blessings.
The Deputy Chief of Defence Forces, Lieutenant General Peter Lweru, the 3rd Division Commander, Brigadier General Joseph Balukudembe, and other officers from Uganda People's Defence Forces have met officials from Uganda Wildlife Authority at Apiano Upe Game Reserve in Nakapripiriti District and toward Moru Ojule Hill and Shrine, where they performed rituals. Elders explain what Karamojong shrines, locally known as Akerkite, is.
Assemble themselves according to the age sect. And in that age sect, they also assemble themselves according to who was born and who initiated first. There is one, the eldest of all, who will preside over a function.
If there is some kind of maybe a body phenomena going to happen and the animal is killed, they are able to read it from the intestines. Then that foreteller can now inform the rest of the elders that be careful. Go maybe and get some kind of soil. It could be the white one, there is that white one which cleanses. There is also that red type.
In our aggregate business, ours elders can opt to say, let's sit under a certain tree. And when there are big functions is when a particular places are identified.
Mark Awol Musaki says Karamojongs believe in one God, locally known as Akuj. Elders say Karamojongs respect human rights.
In some tribes, there is a God for the hunters, there is a God for the twins, there is a God for rain. But for the Karamojong, there is one God, who is Almighty.
Elders assert that no criminal is blessed in the shrine.
John can bless somebody who is sick, whom they think has a problem with God and society. They don't bless anybody to go to inflict pain on another person.
These shrines, there is no blessing of the wrongdoers to go and raid. It is not there.
However, elders defend what happened in a park, where elders allegedly blessed the raiders as annoyance after losing many of their animals. Elders explain the difference between spiritual leaders and witch doctors.
They don't do it in a shrine. They do their things in their homes.
The Deputy Chief of Defence Forces, Lieutenant General Peter Lweru, said UPDF will meet all elders and spiritual doctors at Moru Ajule in Nakapiripriti district.
We shall no longer bless people from here to go and do what? To raid and do what? They proclaim in the middle, in the presence of the president and everybody. And everyone. Here. Because this is the place before, which has been for blessing those who go for what? For raids.
However, elders in Karamoja say meeting spiritual leaders shows weakness in the forces. Although elders John Robert Jaka and Jackson Adome Angela say security forces need to cooperate.
But for me, I call it a total diversion from the reality.
Better if they want now to see this, to shake it right, they go again to the community. Whether they want to go to the shrines, then we are there even to mobilize the community to tell them, okay, now the army wants to come and visit you in here.
According to elders in Karamoja, Moru Ajule Hill was planning observation center for raiders, and next to this big tree, it is where raiders divided the animals and slaughtered some to eat. Joseph Okow, Maureen Iga, UBC.
Furthermore, parliamentarians and cabinet ministers have embarked on a national mobilization exercise about the parish development model with an agenda of uplifting livelihoods of subsistence earners. The Minister for Local Government, Raphael Majezi, is hopeful that the program will boost earnings in the communities. These are the details.
In a bid to uplift the livelihoods of low-income and subsistence earners among Ugandans, government recently initiated the parish development model. In addition to other initiatives, the program was started with an agenda to cater for every household at parish level, but not on individual merit. Sensitization has been ongoing to effect its performance in communities. Tuesday, all members of parliament and cabinet ministers started a national mobilization exercise about parish development model among their electorates. The mass sensitization will end on 3rd July. To effect this undertaking, President Museveni ordered the suspension of cabinet meetings for the same agenda.
As we roll out this initiative of the parish model, we are all giving the same message. We are all covering the entire country. We don't want to leave anybody behind. I'd like to thank His Excellency the President, the person who gave us this program.
The Minister for Local Government, Raphael Majezi, said the Member of Parliaments and Ministers during the national exercise are expected to meet district leaders who include cows, town clerks, interim party executives, top religious and cultural leaders, to engage with the local media of communication like radio stations, to reach out to communities at sub-county level, to engage in non-state actors such as civil society organizations, business community, to mention a few. Majezi says members are exempted from paying SACCO registration fees and clarified the fund only comes as a grant to benefit eligible Ugandans.
But it is a loan to the beneficiary. Who is the beneficiary whom are we targeting? The household. Don't have to pay anything. That one must be amplified. If there is any government official asking the people now, please pay money, that one is a wrong message.
He also enlightened about the unwithdrawn funds disbursed, that should the financial year end, they are to be returned to the Treasury and carried to the beginning of the new financial year.
As per the Public Finance Management Act, any public fund that is not spent by 30th of June has to come back to the Treasury. So even the 17 million you're talking about, if it is not yet disbursed to the SACCOs, the Chief Administrative Officer must make sure that money is returned to Treasury. Government has agreed in the next financial year, which starts on 1st July, which is another 1 week from now, we shall give 117 million to those parishes which did not get their 17.
Majezi is hopeful that in a few years, Uganda's households will have transited from subsistence earning to surplus production and savings.
3.5 million households will transform being in okukolera chida chonka to also earning enough, producing enough to feed the home. Food security is important, but also producing a surplus to take to the market, sell and get some money.
The teams of MPs and ministers are expected to submit a report from their electorates for review on the 10th of July. Ivan Juko, Daniel Ugemwa, UBC News.
Alice Kaboyo has advised politicians not to politicize every government program. Minister Kaboyo said this during the launch of the Parish Development Model training in Luweero District.
Government recently launched the Parish Development Model program as a vehicle to end poverty and increase household income. Minister Kaboyo, during the training session, advised the people to use the money wisely.
This program, PDM, is for the people and it is for development. What I meant is that the people of Luweero are very determined when they decide to be. They fought the war and brought peace in Uganda. They cannot fail to develop themselves using this program of government.
Kaboyo also warned politicians who criticize government programs meant to get people out of poverty.
We politicked and what came out we know. Right now we want to work. We want to move and we want to be moving together because our challenges are the same, whether you are NUP or whether you are NRM. But NRM is looking at Ugandans, not even segregating you in your parties.
The area member of Parliament, Robert Sechitoreko, was concerned that most programs stop on paper and implementation is often a challenge.
Singa katonda atuwa omukisa omulundi guno olupapula ne lutatulimba omugole omanyi tetwamula bulungi yali mu kadali yatulimba kadali waffe luno mulimu akapya kempulira game changer.
The Deputy Resident District Commissioner, Mariam Kaberuka, says there is need to do negative mindset change towards parish development model.
The program ezisinga okutambula is lack of enforcement. Kati nga abakulembeza abantu mbagambe bw'onogyeyo sente zino n'otazikozesa bulungi bajja kukusiba. That mindset.
I'd like to urge the government of Uganda to establish offices of parish chiefs at parish level to ease service delivery because they will be close to the people and people will contact them at a convenient time, and of course services will be accelerated to the grassroots.
In this parish development model program, each parish will be given 17 million shillings. Juliet Naiga, Andrew Sebida for UBC.
Now, relatedly, government is to arrest leaders that will indulge in asking for kickbacks from the beneficiaries of the Parish Development Model Funds. This was disclosed by the Minister of Presidency, Babidi Emiri Babalanda, while sensitizing leaders of Chira municipality about the Parish Development Fund.
Government will not hesitate to arrest persons involved in swindling Parish Development Model Funds and those that will ask for kickbacks. The Minister of Presidency, Babidi Emiri Babalanda, made the remarks while sensitizing leaders in Chira municipality and asked them to embrace the project to support the poor of the poorest.
Esaba kickback abakulu ate abaleta sente basaba bu kickbacks mubuuliranga keno nti musooke mutuweeyo sooke tubawe ku luno nno anaazanyira mweno PDM ajja kusibwa kubanga njagala nve wano nga bawadde n'essimu eteri yakusasulira toll free line mu presidency nina simu yange gwe bw'owulira nga bakutandiseko ne bu kickbacks nti mpaayo akantu saaka eno yafunye miliyoni 3 naye twagalako obukadde 5 tulyoke tubawe sente.
Leaders were urged to educate communities about the parish development model, have proper documentation and focus on implementing the model and desist from being used by self-seekers. However, leaders expressed the challenge of the underprivileged having no national identity cards, which could make it difficult for them to access parish development model funds.
Abantu bategeera obukulu bw'endagamuntu baleme kuzanyira ku origineeyo kujitwala mbamanerendaz na buteewandiisa kuba kati programs ezisinga zibasuula ebbali.
Minister of Kampala Hajat Minsa Kabanda asked leaders to ensure that the beneficiaries register and open up accounts and ask local council leaders to monitor the beneficiaries.
Kirungi ogenda ogamba omuntu tekigambo PDM kyekino n'ekigambo PDC kyekirwa ng'osobola kyawula byombiriri byebiki bitambulira watya naye ng'osobola kyonyolo omuntu ti PDC kyekino PDM kyekirwa kyekino era buvunaanyizibwa bwono bwe buno zino ze mpaji zalina okuyimirirako ate eno nalina kuyimirira ku ki.
Kabanda asked leaders not to fight for the funds but rather ensure that the poor of the poorest benefit. The parishes will be a pool for collection of ideas on how to improve the livelihoods of Ugandans in areas of agriculture, livestock farming, among others. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
The chairperson Equal Opportunities Commission, Hajat Sophia Nalule Juko, has asked beneficiaries of the Parish Development Model Funds to identify business ideas that fit in the allocated funds. Nalule says the beneficiaries must embrace business management trainings from government and must work hard to improve their welfare.
Chairperson Equal Opportunities Commission Sophia Nalule Juko looks at the parish development model as a disability movement that transformed the livelihoods of people living with disabilities. In an exclusive interview, Sophia Nalule Juko expressed the need of gazetting areas for particular crops for collective farming for farmers.
I know under the NRM manifesto, our government has come up with ideas like what kind of crops Ugandans can grow, what kind of businesses people can engage in. But you as an individual, you need to first of all understand your situation. You evaluate yourself before any other person comes to tell you that engage yourself in this kind of business or the other. You must think for yourself, what kind of business can I ably do, with my presence, the kind of energy I have.
She says government must have ears on ground and know what beneficiaries are going through and provide necessary support where necessary.
We must be able to work with all Ugandans at whatever level, and we listen to what they are saying. For us at EOC, under this guide for integrating equal opportunities and affirmative action, we have come up with a tool. The first thing to do is to gather information, data, on the state of Ugandans where we are starting now.
Narule says there is need for parish chiefs to ensure that every eligible beneficiary of the parish development model funds has an enterprise.
Be able to make calculations whether what you have put in, what you'll get out, there is the difference, there is a margin, whether you're going to get a profit. So, I would like to suggest that in all what we do, we have to get some skills in business management. For example, how to identify a good business.
Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
Leaders from Bukedi region have called for affirmative action in implementing the Parish Development Model Program if government is to eradicate poverty. During the sensitization campaign on the PDM program, leaders say that their region comes second after Karamoja in the rankings of poverty-stricken regions. Details in this report.
The leaders have now joined hands to mobilize their residents to embrace the parish development model to enhance their household incomes. During their mobilization meetings held in Butebo and Tororo districts, the leaders expressed the need for government to empower them in the fight against poverty.
As the Bakeri leaders, we are also asking government that we need affirmative action. The rest of Uganda is starting at 39% population living below the poverty line. We are starting at 58%. We cannot be treated the same as everybody. The investment needed to remove Bukedi from the thresholds of poverty is different from the investments needed to remove the other parts of Uganda.
We as members of parliament, we still want more. And after this, we are going to ask for more. This can go on perhaps as a medium-term remedy.
led by Dr. Monica Musenero, the Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation. The leaders toured Kaberekeke Parish in Butebo Town Council, where they benchmarked from the model farmers who are set to benefit from the parish development model. Richard Oseku, the Member of Parliament for Kibale County, highlighted their roadmap to sensitizing communities on parish development model.
Identify one parish in order to transfer the knowledge that we have seen and empower that one so that becomes a learning nucleus for other communities to come and see.
The team leader, Dr. Monica Musenero, said parish development model, a bigger percentage of community members think they will receive hard cash, but she emphasized that funds in the PDM program are not meant to be given to any individual members, but to circle groups.
Money is not going to be given to any group. Circle leadership is simply to manage. If anything, the circle leadership should be the last to get the loans, because that will be conflict of interest.
A section of the model farmers from Kaberekeke Parish Petete Town Council, who among others deal in poultry, piggery and dairy, explained their journey to poverty eradication.
Nagize mbere kiyumba kati amata nali nga sikozesa bulungi nga nkozesa oluusi nvwa nga sifunamu wansomesa amata nga kama buli kama lita zange 10.
Brian Tumwinebya Ruhanga, Yiga Muhammad, UBC News.
Bore chewaka na MTN Momo Nyabo echora kuri chonka.
Amazina ganje ni banyeta Kansime Clofas nimbela lugazika kwa Bambara. Ninye muhanguzi w'emotoka ya MTN Momo Nyabo waka elizoba ninye nahangura motoka ninsima MTN munonga ninsima abantu bonna abezumbiro mu kintu ekyo kubasa kufisyaho ebirabo bya MTN mwebale munonga muhangare mubereho
Oreche waka na MTN Momo Nyabo echora kuri chonka kawe mitware ebiri no kweyongerayo aha mobile money yawe obase kuba mw'abanyamugisha barayihangurire Toyota Succeed 3 na sente S2 bahanguza barukike 12 buru wiki nituza kwaye motoka abiri nina na sente za mobile money ezirukurengo buhumbi bubiri.
A good school doesn't tolerate violence against children.
Because a good school equals a better life.
Raising voices.
Welcome back. You're still watching the UBC News Tonight. We now take you to the world of business. Now, in the quest to uncover the factors causing the drastic increase of fuel prices, I and my news crew sought out truck drivers to see what they say. Now, this follows, of course, unprecedented fuel price increase in the country that began after fuel truck drivers staged a strike at Uganda's eastern border in Kenya last year. Knowing that one way or another, fuel trucks usually pass through customs, I visited this parking spot owned by multiple ICD importers in Nakawa, which is adjacent to the URA head offices, to talk to some fuel truck drivers. Here, trucks come in and leave. I was restricted from filming inside the parking, but after seeking permission, Adam Mohammed, a Somalese fuel truck driver, was availed to take an interview from outside the premises. I inquired where the fuel we use comes from.
From Saudi. After that, they are distributing to every country. They are buying from there and they are washing from there. All now, if they are Kampala, even for Kenya, they are coming from there. They are distributing to in every places, like Southern Sudan, Congo, and Uganda and Kigali, whatever may be, they are going,
Inclusive of border clearance stops, it takes a truck driver approximately 2 to 3 days to come from the coast after a fuel pickup to reach Uganda.
One day you sleeping in Malaba border or Busia border. The following day, yesterday I'm from Kenya. Previous night I sleep where? In Malaba, in Busia. After Busia I come here.
Okay, and
only
then
2 days.
And then to DRC?
Today only 3 days.
Okay. South Sudan?
2 days.
To my surprise, Adam too is puzzled about the price hikes.
I don't know why the fuel is prices are going very high. Because
come closer,
closer. Only gas come from Ukraine. But the fuel is not from Ukraine. Even we are not allowed. Why these people doing, these countries are doing like that, the fuel is high. The people, they are crying because of the fuel.
After Nakawa, I go further east to Mokono in Balala. I'm told I can find drivers to talk to. On reaching, I come to the realization that most of these drivers are foreigners from either Kenya, Somalia or Tanzania, which further complicates my quest because most of them are sensitive to camera interviews, but one allows an audio interview.
I'm a driver from Kenya, and we get fuel from 3 different places. Let's say 4, because we get fuel from Kisumu, where is a depot. Then we get also fuel from Eldoret and from Nakuru. But the main source is in Mombasa. A country like Kenya and Tanzania are not landlocked because they have the ocean, and the products normally come from to those 2 countries from the seas.
It's now clear that the fuel subsector also has tightened bureaucracy, which makes it hard to get clear information. As we speak, in a matter of weeks, an average price per litre for both diesel and petrol in Uganda have risen by over 250 shillings, coming from 5,650 at the beginning of this month to an average of 5,920 today. WADULO, UBC News. Yes, now High Court Civil Division has set the 18th of August 2022 for conferencing of the case in which concerned city lawyer Henry Biansi and Michael Waboneka sued the Attorney General and Vinci Coffee Company Limited over the coffee agreement. In this case, lawyers are aggrieved with the actions of the Finance Minister Matia Kasaija, who signed an agreement on behalf of Ugandans with Uganda Vinci Coffee Company Limited without making necessary consultations, a violation to the rights to a free, open competition. The case was before Judge Philip Baguma.
The Attorney General's office, represented by Derek Tukwasiwe and Commissioner George Kalimera, Vinci Coffee Company Limited, represented by Counsel Gerard Batinda, and the concerned lawyers Henry Biansi and Michael Waboneka, appeared at High Court Civil Division for the hearing of the case. In this matter, lawyer Henry Biansi and Michael Waboneka are challenging the agreement between the government of Uganda and an Italian investor, Enrico Penetti, to manage the production, export and setting of coffee prices. The parties appeared before Judge Philip Baguma for mention of the case. Court ordered them to file written submissions, and on 18th August 2022, the case will resume for conferencing of the matter.
By the time we appeared for court today, we had received the affidavits in reply of the Attorney General and the Uganda Vinci Company. In brief, the Attorney General agrees to be bound by the recommendations of the report of the Committee of Tourism and Trade. But where our contention is that if they agree to be bound by the recommendations of the report, they should advise the government of Uganda to terminate the contract for being illegal, as was found by the Committee of Parliament.
According to these lawyers, the agreement between the government of Uganda and the Vinci Coffee Company Limited was illegal and irrational.
On the other hand, the second respondent, Uganda Vinci Company, in their affidavit in reply, they aver that the Committee of Parliament does not have power to make such recommendations, and that for the government of Uganda to terminate that agreement, that squarely falls within the purview of the judiciary, which is why we are in court.
Lawyers add that the signed agreement by the Finance Minister Matia Kasaija on behalf of Ugandans was done without necessary consultations. These lawyers also allege that the agreement gives Vinci Coffee Company to monopolize coffee market, hence eliminating other players like small-scale farmers, middlemen, and cooperative unions. Last month, the Parliamentary Committee of Trade and Tourism recommended that the controversial coffee agreement between the government of Uganda and Vinci Coffee Company is null and void, recommending government to act accordingly within a period of 6 months. The committee also advised government to utilize the existing agencies in the coffee industry to promote value. However, a section of members of parliament recently got information that the committee report is being altered by government. The said controversial coffee agreement was signed on the 10th of February 2022 between the government of Uganda and Vinci Coffee Company Limited. Natang Rebecca, UBC News.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial *149*10# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *149*10*5#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *149*10# to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Are you a player in the tourism sector with a struggling business following the COVID pandemic? UDB, in partnership with European Union, is providing financial assistance to businesses operating in the tourism sector. You can access subsidized loan with grants, loan with a tenor of up to 5 years, free business advisory services, and free environmental impact assessment. Visit www.udbl.co.ug/call for applications to apply. Deadline for submission is 31st October 2022 at 5 p.m. For more information, please call 0414 355 509.
And in the world of sports, all is set for the 4th round of the Motor Cycling Association event due this Sunday at Busika Racetrack. Some of the country's best riders will among the 40 expected for this championship. That's a precursor to the Armed Forces Championship due later this year. Motorcycling Association's General Secretary Joseph Bukenya explains further.
We have an event on the 26th of June in Busika. Of course, when I talk of Busika, you know what to expect. Our fans are always in Busika. You know exactly what happens there. We have the best riders in the sport, in motocross. So please come and enjoy.
I've talked to Ugandans about the names of those individuals that you expect to spice it up.
Well, we have the 14th Centamo, we have the Holland Brothers, Aviv, Stav, Alon, we have, that is the high classes, we have Gift, Sebuguzi, we have Malcolm Lubega, Raman, Mitimas. Actually, you can see the numbers, all the best riders are in Uganda, and Busika, so I can't exhaust all of them, but yeah, a lot of fun expected.
Moving forward, what should the Ugandans expect from Mau?
Yes, like we promised 2-3 years ago that we are here to change the sport and to stay to make an impact in the sport. Yeah, we are moving forward. We have a bigger event as Mau, which we will be organizing the armed forces, probably to happen on the 2nd of October. But subject to confirmation of the date, but certainly the event is there in October. So yeah, that is the biggest thing for the year in motocross.
Any other information you would love to disseminate from Mau that I've not asked you about?
Yes, I'll specifically talk about the MXON. We, as MA, we've tried to get an opportunity for our racers to represent the country in that upcoming event in August, which is going to be organized by FMU. But we've been frustrated, and yes, so that's one of the disappointments that we do have.
And that brings us to the end of our 10 o'clock edition. Thank you for being a lovely audience. With me, WADULO Mark Arnold and Mugalo Mohammed on sign language. Let's have a look at the weather forecast with Kutesa Mili. See you tomorrow.
Thanks for tuning on UBC. My name is Kutesa Mili with your weather update. We are still having isolated thunder showers most parts of the country, but mainly in the eastern part and the northeastern of our country. Due to that, we had a highest of 37.8 millimeters of rainfall across Entebbe, Kampala with 9 millimeters, Jinja with 8.4, Gulu with 11.1 millimeters of rainfall. Seeing the satellite picture, we are having southeasterlies coming from the Indian Ocean towards our country in combination with Kong advection and local effects bring us the isolated thunder showers we are experiencing, more especially in the eastern and the western stretch and around Lake Victoria. Tomorrow morning, we expect to wake up with light isolated showers across Lake Victoria and some parts of Arua, but the rest of the country is expected to have sunny intervals. After an hour, though, we expect a pick-up of isolated showers most parts of the country, apart from some few areas across Karamoja and the southeastern of our country is expected to have sunny conditions. Temperature raise to between 28 and 29 degrees Celsius in most parts of the country, apart from Kasese, where we are seeing 30 degrees of maximum, and Kawale Highlands with a lowest of 23 degrees Celsius. Just moving out of Uganda, touring the festivals across the globe that we have for you. Nairobi near here is experiencing cloudy conditions at a maximum of 23 degrees Celsius. New York and London with sunny intervals at a maximum of 20 degrees Celsius across London, Dubai with sunny conditions, and Paris with light isolated thunder showers at maximum of 18 degrees Celsius. Thanks for tuning on UBC. I remain Kutesa Mili. Stay tuned and see you tomorrow.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 5 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy